friends, welcome to today's daily devotion. I'm Kerry Wood, pastor of the Goldston Methodist Church in Goldston, North Carolina. Today we are continuing to look at what Paul has to say in the second chapter of Romans. Today we're reading verses 12 through 16 from the Open English Bible. Hear now these words. All who, when they sin, are without law will also perish without law. While those all who, when they sin, are under the law, will be judged as being under the law. It is not those who hear the words of a law that are righteous before God, but it is those who obey it that will be pronounced righteous. When Gentiles, who have no law, do instinctively what the law requires, they, though they have no law, are a law unto themselves. For they show the demands of the law written on their hearts, their consciences corroborating it, while in their thoughts they argue either in self-accusation or, it may be, in self-defense. On the day when God passes judgment on people's inmost lives, as the good news that I tell declares that He will do through Christ Jesus. Okay, this is where Paul starts to get even more complicated, and it makes us feel like that we've got to go to seminary and get a advanced degree in biblical homiletics, which means a biblical means of understanding what the Bible has to say, in order to be able to understand what it is that Paul is trying to say. Well, I have an advanced degree, and you know what? I am still confused by all of this. What is Paul getting into when he's talking about the law and the not law, the adherence to the law, even if you don't know the law? Well, Paul is not trying to get into, maybe he is trying to get into a obscure legal argument. He's trying to get us caught up in Jewishness or non-Jewishness, the following of the law of Moses or the not following of the law of Moses, and if the law of Moses is what we use to determine whether or not we are living up to the standard that God demands in that law of Moses, we're already in a helping heap of trouble. So how about you? Do you feel like you are in a helping heap of trouble as you look at this passage? Do you understand the law of Moses and what it requires? Do you feel like you are following it, or do you feel like you're not following it? Is there a level of ignorance that might contribute to whether or not you're following it? Well, it's so easy for us to get caught up into the conundrum of wondering, where do I stand in all this? How can I know whether I'm right with God or not right with God? Well, the very last verse, Paul gives us a little glimmer of hope. The good news that I declare tells that He will do, God the Father will do the judgment on people's inmost lives through, not the law, Christ Jesus. So what does that mean? Well, you're going to have to hang around, and I'll see you tomorrow to answer that question on our next daily devotion.